Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Johanna Miller of the Vermont Natural Resources Council outside on this gorgeous Friday afternoon, bringing you our weekly climate dispatch, joined once again by my colleague Lauren Hurl of Vermont Conservation Voters and Representative Selena Colburn, who is the leader of the House Progressive Caucus and also on the leadership team of the legislature's Climate Solutions Caucus. So we are here just to give you a brief update on what's happening in the legislature this week. It is, sort of like mad scramble for the legislature to wrap up a ton of work before they adjourn. Ideally, sounds like a little bit later in May, around the 21st or something, but that very well could move. But there's a lot of work happening right now, and a lot of the conversation and the update we want to provide relates to the budget and the opportunity through the American Rescue Plan Act dollars to guide those dollars into really strategic investments, including climate beneficial investments. And the appropriations committees are working through that budget right now. We've been keeping you abreast of some of the priorities we hope to see, and the level of commitment we think is really important and necessary and beneficial now and into the future, really, in terms of the kinds of jobs we want to create, the healthy communities and the healthy people we want to make sure really benefit from these investments. So it's a really important moment in time, and Representative Colburn plays an important leadership role. And I'm just curious to hear from you how you're thinking about this moment, how the Progressive Caucus is thinking about this moment, and what you would like to see now and into the future. So thank you so much for joining us, Representative, and I'd love to just hear a little bit about how you're all thinking about it.
Yeah, such a great question. First and foremost, it's amazing to reflect on how different things feel this year in terms of the scale of investments that we're talking about. And I think we do have the Global Warming Solutions Act in part to thank for that. And then we also have just the sort of unique opportunity that a lot of the federal dollars that are available in recovery and stimulus dollars are presenting for us. So we're really at the moment where a lot of the climate work is really coming down to the question of what is in the budget. And right now the House and Senate are, have gone to conference committee to kind of reconcile their differences of the budget. And then there's also the question of the governor's budget. And so the hope for the Climate Solutions Caucus and really all folks who care deeply about this issue is that we're gonna maximize this moment where we do have kind of real access to federal dollars, as well as the ability to, in some ways, free up state dollars that has created to make significant climate investments. And so there's, the good news is that compared to previous years, whether it's the executive branch or the two chambers of the legislature, we are thinking about really significant climate investments. I think the goal now for folks who care about this is to make sure we push things across the finish line with the strongest possible investments. So I think you'll hear a call to action at the end of this about reaching out to your legislators to make sure we get to a meaningful level of investment in the budget. And I would strongly urge folks to do that. I know we just have a few minutes, so I'm not sure it's worth talking about the details of everything that's in the budget. But I think one thing to think about is that there's also an opportunity at the municipal level, both through some of the federal dollars that are flowing straight to municipalities. And I know there's a proposal floating around to actually get some additional support to the regional planning commissions to really help communities maximize those opportunities and come up with, infrastructure and energy projects that can really help the state and communities advance their own climate goals. So I'm hopeful that we'll see some movement on that in the budget as well. And then I would say, just from the lens of the House Progressive Caucus, we're Very supportive of climate investments. One of our members, Representative Molly Burke, is a longstanding member of the Transportation Committee, so has worked really hard around the investments that are also part of the transportation bill there through a climate lens. And we also have several members who are working on the intersection of racial justice and climate justice and have introduced bills really about land access and farm access to BIPOC folks in the state, and trying to really do some restorative work around equalizing opportunity and really equalizing who gets to be a good steward of land in the state. And I think fundamentally that is a climate issue. So those are some of the things that our caucus is looking at with regards to these issues. I don't know.
Yeah, thanks.
Anything else?
That is a great overview. I mean, it's great to hear. I think, a lot of the initiatives, like the BIPOC land access and opportunity, I might have that name a little wrong, but that will be, a priority. And it was great to see some groundwork laid this year, but certainly keep up momentum going into next year. So, we always like to end these and get you off to enjoy this beautiful Friday, but want to, really do a call to action. And Representative Colburn highlighted the most important right now, given that the budget negotiations are taking place between the House and Senate. And we really need people reaching out to your senators and representatives and saying, we need a significant climate investment, 200 million in the budget. We all know, those of you who join us weekly, the many benefits that will come of those investments of, doing our part on climate, but also creating good paying jobs and helping save people money on their monthly energy bills, and all these benefits that come from the kinds of investments that we can make with that commitment. And so, this is one of the most strategic and forward-looking things that, we really need to be committing to with this, once in a lifetime opportunity that we have with the federal funding. So that is our call to action to you. Reach out. We'd love to hear if you're getting any input from lawmakers. And thanks for all you're doing, keeping up the pressure on this. And we'll be back next week to let you know how we're doing on that and the Climate Council and all kinds of other action that's underway. But appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you next week. Bye.